Are you confused by the multitude of supplements that claim they will help your PMS symptoms? Well, today we're going to dive deep into which ones actually can help reduce your PMS symptoms and what symptoms they will actually work on. So stay tuned to learn more. To learn the best ways to balance your hormone and gut health, hit the subscribe and the bell to be notified when I post videos every Friday. I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. I'm a registered dietitian, a family doctor, a functional medicine doctor, and I bring you every Friday the best ways to get to the root cause of your gut and hormone imbalance and what you can start doing to fix those things, to have everything start to work more in harmony and to start feeling better and more balanced today. So today we are focusing on PMS again. I've had a series of PMS videos, so if you haven't seen any of those, I will link the last week's video up above, and then in the description down below, I'll have a playlist. So today we're talking about the best supplements, the ones with actual research and evidence behind them to reduce the symptoms associated with PMS. Now, first, let's talk about the fact that PMS is not just a bad mood. It's not just, oh, she's a little moody today. It's actually much more than that. It can come along with, yes, anxiety and depression type symptoms, but also what can come along with that are insomnia, cramping, bloating, heavy bleeding. That's more not necessarily PMS, but it can lead up to that. Pain, low back pain, and a big disruption in your life. There can also be headaches associated with it too. So we're going to target some of those supplements. We're going to talk about some of the supplements that target those symptoms today and why. So there'll be 5 that we're mentioning today, along with at the end, we will have some bonus herbal blend ideas and other types of supplements that I use quite often in my functional medicine practice. And I've helped thousands of women work through their PMS symptoms and balance their hormones and their gut health. So I've got a lot of experience behind this. So let's dig in. Number 1 would be chasteberry or vitex. So you can see it listed as either chasteberry or vitex. And what that can do, it's an herb and it can work with the pituitary and work on the symptoms of low progesterone, those being bloating, breast pain or tenderness, and headaches. We don't always see that it helps some of the mood symptoms, but sometimes it really does help the mood swings. So you could try it for that too. Now, it should not be used in people that have had estrogen receptor or progesterone receptor positive cancers, or if you're in a family group that, like your mother, your sister, and there's a lot of family members with hormone receptor positive cancers. You don't want to use chasteberry then. So always talk to your doctor, because I am a doctor, but I'm not your doctor. So with any of these, talk to your doctor before you start them. Also, you don't want to use it if you're on antipsychotic medications, or if you're taking, it can interfere with your oral contraceptives, so your birth control pills. So I know that encompasses a wide group of women, particularly with PMS symptoms, because a lot of times you are put on a oral contraceptive or a birth control pill when you have PMS. But just know that chasteberry or vitex can make it a little bit less effective. So always talk to your doctor about if that's the right choice for you. Number 2 would be calcium. So calcium is a mineral, and what we see with calcium is, even as recent as a 2017 study, there's other studies showing this too, calcium helps reduce bloating, fatigue, and improve mood for women suffering from PMS. So what we usually recommend with calcium is first trying to get it through your diet, because it's very well absorbed when it's blended with other vitamins and minerals. Calcium-rich foods, almond, tofu, dairy, of course. We know that dairy is enriched with calcium. And with your tofu, if you approve of tofu, you want to go with non-GMO organic tofu. Greens, a lot of the green leafy vegetables, broccolis, and also the leafy types are rich in calcium. Sardines, rich in calcium, or any kind of fish with bones. So read your labels. Calcium is often listed on the labels too, if it's rich in calcium. So start with your food. I'm going to recommend that with all of these, other than the chasteberry and vitex, which is an herb. But with the ones that are vitamins and minerals, I am going to recommend starting with your food. Now with calcium, you do not want to just take a big handful of calcium pills, because your body is not going to absorb all that calcium all at once. It's going to let the rest of it just kind of be wasted. So we don't want to take more than 500 milligrams of calcium in one sitting. And the normal effective dose for PMS symptoms for a 24-hour period is about 1,000 to 1,300 milligrams. Again, check with your doctor, make sure that's good for you. But typically I'm telling my patients to take 250 milligrams 3 times a day. I know taking a mineral or a vitamin supplement or a supplement 3 times a day is annoying sometimes, pain in your butt, but that's really the best way to absorb it. It's kind of like eating it through your diet, where it's smaller amounts and then taking it with your food. They all kind of blend together and help each other absorb. So there are a variety of calcium supplements. I'm going to put some of my favorites in the description down below. Number 3 would be magnesium. I talk a lot about magnesium on this channel. I've had a whole video dedicated to magnesium, just magnesium, or signs of magnesium deficiency and what it can do. Because a lot of us are deficient in magnesium. We need magnesium for a lot of different pathways and processes in our body. So magnesium, we're finding across the board, helps with any of the PMS symptoms, because it helps mood, sleep, digestion, and also helps on prostaglandins. And that's one of the main reasons behind PMS, like cramping and that kind of thing. So food sources similar to calcium, because they often go hand in hand, and you'll see them hand in hand in supplements too. Both minerals that help your bones. So almonds, greens, nuts and seeds, additionally with magnesium, dark chocolate, that's a fun one. And then like the green leafy vegetables and the non-GMO, or just tofu in general, but choosing a non-GMO. And soy products do have magnesium, the natural soy products, not the processed soy products. So typically we're going to say, starting low, maybe 100 or 200 milligrams, and seeing if that helps you. Now, like I've mentioned before, magnesium can cause loose stools or bowel movements or diarrhea, loose, runny stuff you don't want. So some people, if they're having constipation, the right type of magnesium for them would be like a magnesium citrate. But if your bowels are normal and you don't want them to get any looser, or not that if you have constipation, it's not going to make them loose. It's going to make you more regular. It's going to be actually beneficial. But if you don't have constipation, you probably want to go with a magnesium glycinate. And like I said, I cover this in detail in my magnesium video, but starting low, 100 to 200 milligrams, and then, building your way up. You could go as high as 800 milligrams. But if you have kidney problems, always talk with your doctor about adding any kind of mineral or vitamin or supplement. And then certain prescriptions will be contraindicated with magnesium. So you do want to talk to your doctor about that too, like anything that already has magnesium in there. And that's really the basics. Just always go with your doctor if you're on a prescription, or if you have kidney problems. So number 4 would be omegas. So we see that omegas are very helpful with that anti-inflammatory effect. So lowering inflammatory pain associated with PMS, helping cramps. I have had patients tell me that magnesium makes a huge difference in their mood, in their PMS anxiety, brain fog, that kind of thing. It's often omega-3s are found in fish, and we think of fish as brain food. So I encourage you to look into that. There's a lot of good research behind magnesium and PMS. And I encourage you to consider taking a magnesium supplement that also has some gamma linoleic acid in there, GLA, also known as evening primrose oil being one of the sources. There are other sources of GLA. It is an omega-6, so you don't want to necessarily take that supplement, the EPO or the GLA, on its own. You would want to balance it with an omega-3. So you can either just try the omega-3 on its own, or there are certain brands, which I will list some ideas down below, that have both in there. What I'd recommend for that would be just to be sure you're getting a good brand, because there's a lot of crappy brands of omegas out there that really just kind of have a drop of what really is beneficial, the EPA and the DHA in there. Sorry, I'm just talking so fast. So with those, you want to make sure you're getting a brand that packs a good punch. So 1 to 2 grams of the EPA and DHA in there. Also one that has been tested for mercury and been tested for other kind of contaminants within it. And the kinds that I recommend have been tested for that. But there's a lot of great brands out there, but there's also a lot of crappy brands out there. So number 5 would be B6, vitamin B6, great for mood and sleep and brain function when those are altered with PMS, also can help with headaches. Magnesium, as I mentioned before, can definitely help with migraines related to PMS. So keep that in mind. B6 can be helpful for that too. Food sources are fish and meat and eggs and dairy, not dairy, but fish and meat and eggs. For those of you that are vegetarians, you can find B6 in grains, and it's also supplemented in cereals and things like that. I will list some reputable companies down below that have B6 brands that are, you can get some at the store that are way too high in dose. You'll see even in some of the blogs and things that people will, for PMS, recommend 100 milligrams. Don't take 100 milligrams of B6. Definitely want to clear it with your doctor if you do end up taking that. Some people can take that safely, but in some folks, I have seen that 100 milligrams cause some neuropathy or some nerve pain, some nerve sensation loss, some difficulty with nerve function in their periphery, like in their fingers or their toes or their feet. So don't just off the bat go with the highest dose you can find. I would recommend between 25 and 50, always clearing it with your doctor, but between 25 and 50 of B6. And some people need a special kind of B6 called P5P, but you would need further testing to know if that's what you would need. So that's the deal on B6. Now, my bonus ideas are if you have estrogen dominance, if your doctor has tested you with the Dutch test, which I love, it's your urinary test for hormones, or they've just mentioned that your estrogen was very high, you could consider taking an herb called DIM, taking calcium D-glucarate, not the same as regular calcium. It helps, both of those help push out the excess estrogen. Rosemary also does that. And I will have some ideas for that noted down below. If you're having cramps, thiamine, vitamin B1 at 100 milligrams can definitely, that one's okay at 100 milligrams, can definitely help your cramps. And then probiotics. We want to process up extra estrogen if you have it and push it out. And fiber and probiotics can do that. So those are my bonus ideas. So if you got value out of this, please comment down below. If you've suffered from any of these symptoms, please comment down below. And if you found solutions, please comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Please check our next video out, my next video out next Friday. Please subscribe, share, hit the bell to be notified. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next Friday.